Magnify the Lord with me. Magnify Him.
We are so blessed to have the Griffiths here today, David and Monique Griffith. So nice to have you. Welcome to Magnify Him.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, you're
Great
so
to be here.
welcome. Welcome. Tell our viewers, how did you get into music ministry? Monique.
Well, I first started music ministry when I was a little girl. I sang with my parents once my eldest sister moved out.
You sound like you were a little happy that she moved out.
Well, I was on the side. We're 12 years apart.
Oh, wow.
And so I started when I was maybe 7 years old, when I started singing with my parents and in an adult group. And so that's where my music ministry began.
That's wonderful, starting as a little girl.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I started a little bit older.
Okay.
I was in high school at Tacoma Academy in Maryland, and Bruce Freeman was an English teacher there, and he had this youth group called the Light Company, and he asked me to be a part of it. And we tried to figure out interesting ways to use music and drama, the arts, to present Christ to other young people to get them engaged.
Oh, I love it.
So he mentored me, and we learned about small group fellowship, and we wrote a musical, of all things. And I didn't know I could write music at the time, but we wrote a musical, and it was just all written by kids, all the music done by kids, and then we toured to different schools, and it was just really moving. I thought at that time, if I could do this for the rest of my life,
yes,
that would be wonderful.
Yes, yes. It's so amazing when God gives you a gift, and as a child or a young person, you begin to really focus on Him and use your gifts for Him. To me, I mean, there's no greater present than that to us, to just be able to use our gifts for Him. And you play the piano and sing.
It's fun.
That's
It's fun.
that's to me. I mean, that I can't really play the piano, so forget about it. But can you play?
A little bit.
Oh, okay.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, it seems as though it would be so difficult to coordinate everything, singing and playing, and so that's a double gift.
Well, it was fun when I was a little kid. I asked my brother, we had one of these songbooks, the folk hymnal, and I said, well, what are these little chord things? And he'd go, okay, let me show you. And so he'd show me how to play the chords. And so instead of reading all the notes, I would play the chords and I would sing the melody.
Wow.
So it made it easier as I got older
Yes.
to coordinate.
Yes. Speaking of songbooks, you had mentioned earlier to me that you've written a songbook. Tell us about that.
A few years ago, maybe 5 years ago, I really started studying more about the names of God. I wanted to know more about who God was. And we were talking with our son about this a little earlier today. And so I learned about God as Jehovah Jireh, the Lord who provides for us.
Yes.
Jehovah Nisi, our banner of victory. And I learned about this word called Adonai. Adonai. Well, what is this? And I think Amy Grant might have used it or something way back then. But I started to study the names of God. And as I explored this, I started to learn more about who God was, and that it inspired songs. And so eventually we got a bunch of songs, and we had a group that we formed called the Praise and Worship Experience, and then we just started ministering them. And what I found is for a couple years, the ministry was more so just for us. When we would have rehearsals, people would be crying and just filled with the Spirit, just touched and sensing God's realness. And then recently, I was blessed. Lost and Found, a production company, said, "Hey, we want to help you put out the songs that God has given you."
Wow! So you took all of those songs and put them into a songbook that could bless others.
We were excited because what would happen is, since we had such an experience together and we wanted to be able to share it, by scoring it, we realized other people could a fresh experience that.
Yes. Tell us a little bit more, Monique, about that experience, that praise and worship experience.
Because there were so many songs that impact so many people, and it impacted me a lot, it was so hard to choose which ones should actually go into this book.
Yes. When you think about how good God is and how He gives gifts and anointing to His ministers of music, we are going to be blessed today with the Griffiths.
Our Father, which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
give us this day our daily bread,
And forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the and forever.
I'm really looking forward to the day when we won't have to worry about bills and taxes and losing loved ones and friends from illness. When we won't have to worry about fighting and wars and rumors of war, earthquakes, and when we'll really be able to be at peace. We'll be able to be with Jesus. We'll be able to be reunited with Grandma and Grandpa. Yeah, in the valley, there will be peace for you and for me.
Lord, I'm tired and so weary, but I must toil on till the Lord comes and calls me away. Oh, yes, where the morning it is so bright, and the Lamb He is the light, and the night 'cause there will be peace in the valley for me. Oh Lord, I pray.
There the bear will be gentle, and the wolf will be tame, and the lion shall lay right down right by the lamb, and the beast of the wild will be led by a child, and I'll be changed from this creature that I am. Oh yes, there will be peace in the valley for me. Someday there will be peace in the valley